Friends, I don't know about you, but the whole world is waiting to see on September the 10th when Kamala walks into the octagon and is absolutely destroyed by President Donald Trump. And I can't tell anybody what to do, but there are some questions that she must answer absolutely positively. This debate is going to provide one of the most important opportunities for us to ask and to press and to insist that Kamala answer the key questions that must be answered, that must be addressed, to prove herself worthy of this position. After what, 6 or so weeks of completely hiding and just being nowhere, pulling a kind of a Joe Basement theory presentation. Kamala finally appeared, with the extra beautiful, soft little training wheels, and everything's safe in the rubber room with some pre-recorded brief little friendly chat with Dana Bash. And even Tampon Timmy stood there for no particular reason in that dark, dank, and dingy diner in the middle of nowhere. That was a joke. Dana Bash didn't press her, didn't force her to answer the most critical issues. She didn't follow up with any of the attempts for her to obfuscate, prevaricate, or otherwise refuse to answer questions. And because of it, Kamala just slithered away, escaping and missing totally the opportunity and the responsibility and the scrutiny of a real, actual, legitimate interview that people wanted to hear. And the burden of proof, the focus, should be greater and higher on her than anybody else, especially because of the fact that she's never won a single delegate. She was created by the backroom, smoke-filled political shenanigans and these weird machinations and procedures that nobody had anything to do with. Kamala has never earned a single solitary caucus or primary vote for president in 2020 and 2024. Nothing. And given the fact that she came out of this ward room, kind of a phony baloney, corrupt California machine, she's not ever really faced inquiry, ever. And she wants to enjoy all of the glories, if you will, of the incumbency, but won't answer any of the questions. Doesn't take any of the blame. Either as a vice president or somebody who was the last one in the room. She was theoretically, 1 minute she was the co-administrator of the Biden agenda, and then she forgets. When it comes to immigration or inflation, she has no idea. And the corporate, this fictional ersatz, this heritage media, they basically give her a pass. They feel it's the strangest thing in the world. They give her basically a pass. All the benefits, none of the blame. And as part of this horror, she faces little, I guess, responsibility or little questioning from media. Well, there are no journalists anymore. And this is the most important thing now. Now, ABC News wants to find some of the professionals. They really are theoretically trying to do the best they can, but they can't, because they are apparatchiks of the shadow government. Lindsay Davis and David Muir are going to be asking the questions. And if ABC refuses to actually pursue and to recognize their obligation, then President Trump has to go in for the throat. And he's got to ask some questions that nobody wants to ask. In no particular order. Number one, hey, Kamala, what did you know about Pops Biden's cognitive and complete and total breakdown? The fact that he's a dotard, a coot, hobbled by decrepitude, a man senescent, walking around yelling, "Who ordered the veal cutlet?" When did you know this? Why did you lie to the American people? And when it was reported by Nancy Pelosi and others that they threatened to sick the 25th Amendment on him, where did you fit into this? Did you speak about this? Did you defend him? Did you go along with it? How do you do this? I mean, this is the most important thing. And by the way, as I said before, or as it was stated, how can you honestly look at the American people and say, vote for me? I've never appeared before anybody ever. And we know how you got the AG and the DA thing. Come on, we know about you and Willie. Stop it. We're not going to rehash that again, but it's true. You talked about Bidenomics. You talk about Biden. You boasted about it. You said Bidenomics. But America hates it. The poll after poll says Bidenomics suck. People are worried about inflation. And you the other day in this attempt to use big words, you wanted to talk about price gouging. Then you said gauging because you read the teleprompter wrong. You're so inauthentic. You're a fraud. This is important. President Trump appeared in a CNN town hall in front of the chick with the eyebrows, Caitlin Collins. No, that's a basketball player. Caitlin, whatever her name is. The one who always looks angry. He did it. He was great. Would you provide a similar town hall meeting in front of, I don't know, anybody else, let's say from Fox? Would you? Would you allow Hannity or whoever, even Gutbucket, anybody to ask you questions? And the question has to be asked, Logolalia is one thing, Logoria, but these weird accents of yours, this appropriation, this synthetic and really creepy adoption of accents and a patois, depending upon where you are, it's racist. And then let's talk about this, you being philosophically schizophrenic, on fracking. Everybody from CNN on states that you never change your position in 2020. You were against fracking 100%. So all of a sudden you're pro-fracking or facking. Who gives a frack? When did you change? And another thing too, speaking of changing, you were absolutely adamant regarding race-based reparations. Unburdened by the past. Well, if that's true, then we should drop that. Can you explain why American and women and men and gay and straight and Hispanic and Latino and Asian and white or non-slave connected Africans, black Americans, why should they pay complete strangers for racial inequality and injustice and horrors that they had nothing to do with? What do you think about the way your state of California is running? What do you think about, say something good or bad about Gavin Newsom? And how can you guarantee, or do you guarantee, that the millions upon millions of illegal aliens who have crossed, who have violated, who are basically sovereignty burglars, who are looters and who have just basically breached our sovereignty. Those individuals who were just sitting around, how can you guarantee that they have not and will not be granted amnesty or free citizenship or money or down payments on houses? How? How does this work? It's the most incredible story in the world. What would you tell parents whose kids were killed by illegals that you and Joe just loved and facilitated, flew in, facilitated, greased the skids with Mayorkas? How does that? These people are almost like squatters. What would you tell the parents of Lake and Riley? What would you do that? How would you do that? And let's talk about this in the news. Joe Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan, that absolute and total collapse, and you're blaming Trump for that? You said you were the last person in the room and that you were okay with the decision. Is that still the case? Is that still the case? What is it that you believe in? What is it that you believe in? And do you honestly have any cogent thought as to what America's position should be regarding Israel in terms of the Middle East? And one more thing, if you don't mind me asking, what do you think about a man who goes into a boxing ring, beats the hell out of a woman, and we give him a gold medal? Do you think there's a difference between men and women? Do you think there is a difference between men and women? Can you define the difference between a man and a woman? President Trump has to go in there, loaded for bear, and let her have it. both barrels. And then when Muir or the other one says, hey, you can't do that, you can say, wait a minute. If you want to be the president, you've got to be able to answer these tough questions anytime. You think Vladimir Putin's going to let you off the hook? I don't think so. America is owed an absolute duty of you to answer the question. And answer it now. It's that simple. Well, Kamala, what's it going to be? By the way, we're going to be doing coverage immediately after this bloodbath on the 10th, so stay right here. In the meantime, please subscribe to this channel, Lionel Nation. Make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Please like this video. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, implore, and import you, as always, to comment as you see fit.